Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To some of you and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. What I've come to notice about the gender war, if it's over, is that there is still a propaganda war. I suspect that there is somebody high up that really wants to um, tip things in favor of one particular side by making it sound like anyone from either gender that talks about this is an extremist. There is apparently a man, 27, that was planning on committing an act of mass indiscriminate violence, and he described himself as an incel. Now, the FBI said something about him being a former incel. I don't know how the hell you become a former incel, but if you were an incel and you're not, then that kind of removes whatever motive one might have. Or does it add to the motive that one might have to want to commit indiscriminate violence? Elliot Rodger um, referred to himself as one. And he died in his own act of indiscriminate violence. I can't say indiscriminate, but it was mass. This 27-year-old by the name of Lee referred to himself as an incel. And what I see is that there is still a media or propaganda effort against, I wouldn't say against men, but it is against non-select men. And it doesn't seem to be limited to race per se. It is not limited to the Black community. It's a Western thing, certainly an American thing. Men that women don't want can fly under the radar, but if you become vocal with anybody about the fact that you are unwanted, you're hetero, you're straight, but you're still unwanted by women, and you say anything about this in spoken or written form, then they're going to take whatever you call yourself and then turn around and equate that to misogyny and to violence. Incels are involuntarily celibate. That's it. Being an incel does not mean that you are violent or that you are peaceful. It does not mean that you are good or that you are bad. It does not mean that you love women or that you hate women. It means that you don't get to choose and you are celibate. It means that pretty much the entire female gender within proximity of you and the cultural context in which you live unanimously agreed you ain't getting none. Now, in order for that to be the case, there's something else that has to be in place. And we know that it has been in place in the Black gynocracy. We know that. It has kind of been in place in white America as well. It's kind of been in place even throughout the white West, and that is women interfering with each other's choices. And so this is how it is that they become unanimously with a hive mind tuned in to a knowledge based on sight of a man as to how everyone else, every other woman's going to rank that man and how you are required to rank that man. So it leads to incelibacy. But that's what it means, incelibacy. The reactions you can talk about with differing terms. Good, bad, violent, peaceful, constructive, destructive, take your pick. Those are the reactions. But in reality, most men in the West are either incels or they're very close to being one. For the most part, a man is one accident away from being an incel. In the West, that's all the F it is. In the West, a man is one accident away from that, one paycheck away from it, a missed paycheck. If that's the ones that are not there already, one false accusation away from it, or just one public disagreement with a woman away from that. If she has a platform and she can put your name and face out there, she can mess things up for you. See, I don't think that that thing was a skit where Sanjay and Alicia uh, disagreed about the Cheesecake Factory. I'm not sure how much of that was actually a skit. She said it was. I'm just not sure. I mean, they went on Kevin Wesley's thing and interviewed again. And one thing Sanjay said is that it has been difficult for him because he has been seen. And that the women pretty much see him as the problem because he had standards. They would have seen him as a problem if he didn't have standards. He's having trouble because even if it was a skit, she pulled the camera out, recorded him, didn't ask him, just recorded him, and that was the end of it. Look, I'm sorry, but it's already difficult enough. What they want to say is, listen, men, you're not owed anything, and that is true. If you say anything about it, though, you're on the list. You're on the watch list. A woman can hit you, and we probably laugh about it, but if you hit back, you're on the watch list. If you tell men to defend themselves when women hit them, you're on the watch list. If you say anything about the blame that you are to which you are subjected by the same women that unanimously tell you stay away, because in the West they'll do this and then they'll blame the man for being by himself, shame and blame a single man for being single. Especially if he says anything about the way that men are treated in general. Oh, shut up! You just mad because you ain't got nobody. It's always that. What they're pretty much saying is, just accept it. Accept being in the friend zone. Don't say anything else about it. Don't demand anything at all. Women can demand from you, but you make no demands. And if you say something, you're on the list. And we're going to blame the bunch of you as a whole the next time one man does something illegal. There is still that propaganda going on. It is not black, it is not white, it is American, it is Western, it is first world. That war, I know, is not over. I know that because of the way that the reports chose to handle um, the plot that was discovered by the FBI, according to an article. And truth be told, I don't even think it's necessarily the FBI that's doing this. The man called himself an incel, so when the FBI says that he called himself an incel, as long as they didn't make it up, great, they're honest, they didn't make it up. But the media woman got good God Almighty. It's like the media is playing on people's stupidity, or they got stupid people writing the articles. See, I've been select and unselected. I've not been, at least not in my adult life, I've not been an incel. But I do understand that it doesn't take much to become one. I understand it takes a lot to not be one. It takes a lot of work or a lot of luck, usually a lot of both, and it takes pretty much nothing but bad luck to become one. I understand that pretty much if you're a guy, you're a normal guy, but you have any standards comparable to what a normal woman would have, you can wind up being one. There are men of various ages, but because they look young for their ages and they can't lay down with women that are inappropriately younger than them, they can't bring themselves to do it, they might as well be incels. They're incels because they're only approached and checked for by women that are inappropriately younger than them. Imagine being the actor Ralph Macchio without his money. You're a regular guy. You're the actor, but you look like Ralph Macchio. You're an adult. Hell, in your 50s. You only got high school chicks checking for you. That's it. You can't do that. But the minute they turn, hell, 18, let alone and within an age range mentally comparable to you, you're invisible to them now. There are men that go through this. A lot of men, they could sit up and say, well, I got standards about what I'm not going to deal with because these things are harmful and there is nobody. And so you still have media pundits that want to come along and fire these shots. That war, I'm pretty sure, is not over. The gender war overall, like I said, we'll see. Time will tell. A lot of you're already reporting, and I appreciate those of you that are commenting underneath. A lot of you are stating different things for different areas. But the media's propaganda war is not. Not if this report is going to stand. I hope that what I've said is a benefit. Thank you for listening. And as always, black heart, black mind, black out. Assalamu alaikum, black heterosexual, non-select male power. Just because they don't like it. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. Fix the Cash App thing. I went ahead and linked it to an American account because I devised a way to be able to send from it to my account here. The only thing is it can take a long time. So if I can't do that speedily enough, if I can't make those transfers speedily enough to pay the salaries, and what I can do at least is I can utilize it to do things like build the fire escape that is required, and that would legally clear us to get the signpost that would then generate the publicity to get the clientele to pay the salaries. So either I could, if it takes too long, then indirectly, I can still use it to make these things easier in order to at least indirectly keep the promise that I made to you as much as is possible. I do not plan on utilizing anything sent in through Cash App for any reasons other than what I've stated to you, or if you send in a note stipulating something else, like send it to another YouTuber, or in other words, if you don't particularly care, or you want it done, you want it used some other way, you just stipulate it in what you send, and I can gladly honor your request. Thank you for jetting black with us again on Jet Black Airways, where jet black is also a verb. Keep jetting black with us until the wings and the wheels fall off. Gender, justice, forever.